Since we cannot trust the airlines 100% to get all of our luggage there, crossing our fingers if they do, but they can't guarantee that. So the plan is to pack all of our race day needs into our carry-on. So I'm gonna try to get as much of our race day gear into this one carry-on. We did do a practice run about a week ago. I think I can get all of this except one pair of shoes. One pair of shoes will have to go on another carry-on, but we do have space in other bags, but that's the goal for this. Race belts. The last 2 races we've shown up without race belts, so I made dang sure to lay these out to make sure that they get to Finland. We shipped our bikes with Tri-Bike Transport, but the one thing you cannot have assembled were the pedals. So we have the pedals to each of our bikes. They are definitely going on the carry-on. Let's start with these helmets because they obviously take up the most space, but definitely worth having the aero gain, so still absolutely taking them. Boom. All that but a pair of shoes.
Very important business so that we can share and document the journey each day along the way. Of course, we need all of the technology, the GoPros, the DSLR camera, the drone. Flying a drone in Finland will be an interesting experience. So just like all the valuable items that we have, this will be going in my personal item, my carry-on baggage, so that we can have access to it and use it in the moment. So make sure we have all the charging cables. We do have converters for Finland and Sweden, so we should be good to go there. And yeah, just get everything packed away. Lots of content to come. Stay tuned.
What I would tell myself 12 years ago before my first triathlon. This might sound a little cliche, but I would tell myself to sit down, strap in. This sport is going to change your life.
It would be interesting if I could have a conversation with the Colin who was about to do his first sprint triathlon. I would be jealous that his beard wasn't gray and that he wasn't starting to bald. But seriously, what I would want to take away from that conversation for present day Colin is I would want to remind myself that that Colin and this Colin, we both have 24 hours in a day. But back then, I did not make a good use of my time.
What the me of today would tell Tiffany before her very first triathlon is, wow, this sport is going to do some amazing things for your life, some of which you can't even imagine. You're going to travel around the world, you're going to meet the love of your life, and you're going to share the journey together, and that is going to be really powerful.
I would want to remind myself that the Colin of today is both physically healthier and mentally healthier than that Colin back then.
Another thing that I would tell myself back then is not to let anyone else define who you are as a triathlete. If you believe that you can be something, if you believe in the goals that you set for yourself, don't let anyone else diminish those goals or diminish who you want to be in the sport. And find the people who truly support you and are there for you in the hard times, not just the good times. And that will make this sport so much more meaningful and powerful and important to you in your life.
I would probably tell myself the same bit of advice that I tell everyone getting into the sport is just to breathe, relax, and take each bit as it comes. Not to get ahead of yourself and think about the whole big picture because there are so many moving parts to this sport of triathlon.
The key to growing in this sport is nothing more than consistency and finding fellow like-minded triathletes. If you can do those two things, the rest will fall into place. For this race season, me, Caitlin, Tiffany, we've all had virtually the same training schedule, and that's really helped with consistency because I know they're out in Austin crushing it every day, and I don't want to drop the ball over here in Nashville. And adversity finds everybody throughout the race season. It's certainly found the three of us, but our collective resilience and support for one another when one of us is scuffling has made us all stronger. And I've grown more this season than I have in any of the previous other seasons. And it all goes back to consistency in a training plan and training with the right people.
What Tiffany from her first triathlon would say to Tiffany who is about to go to her third Ironman 70.3 World Championship would be, take a moment to breathe, step back, and look at the big picture. Look at all of the races that you've done in your lifetime, from the very first sprints to the Olympic distance races to the first half Ironman when you crossed the finish line and told yourself there's no way you could ever do an Ironman. And then you've done 3. But take a moment while you're in Finland and just soak it in. Soak in the atmosphere, the other athletes, the being on foreign soil in a new world, and appreciate what you have. And look at your bike when you get to Finland and remember those days that you spent on the old bike training, because this race is important to you. And most importantly, have fun. Enjoy the swim, the bike, the run, every moment of it. So when you get to that finish line, it is a true celebration of a comeback story that you've been writing for over a year.
This whole experience is almost unimaginable. Just being able to say that I have qualified for 3 different 70.3 World Championships is a feat in its own. We've already done 1 international race, and the second was here in the States, and now again going to a second international race. I mean, how fortunate are we to be able to do that, have the means to do it, have the ability.
I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that the last 12 months for me personally have been a real challenge away from triathlon. I've been reminded more than once how fragile life can be and that nothing should be taken for granted. When race day arrives and I jump in the lake, I know I will be clear-minded and ready to race. But between now and then, there are probably going to be some misty-eyed, teary-eyed, lump in my throat type of moments. Me qualifying for Worlds on its own is incredible and hard to even describe. But Caitlin and Tiffany did too. And we're all gonna get to go out there and do this World Championship together. My wife, Katie, is able to make this trip. And I know that they're gonna be waiting for me at the finish line. I know that during the race, there are going to be some hard and challenging and tiring moments, but this is something that I'm never going to forget, and I can't wait to jump in that lake.
So the next time you see us, we will be not here. Hopefully we will be in Finland. We have some lengthy flights, a couple change of planes to make, and you know, it's gonna be a journey in itself, but we are beyond excited, not just to experience this ourselves, but to share it every step of the way. We are gonna be doing daily content on YouTube. Of course, we'll be on Instagram and Facebook, and We must say a very, very warm thank you to everyone who has reached out, the direct messages, the comments on our posts, the comments on our YouTube videos, sharing our story and sharing our journey. That means so much to us, and we hope that we can give back with the content we bring and hopefully bring our experience in Finland to life for everyone who isn't there to share it with us. Hang on, it's race week.